Hey everybody, Josh here from Shamma Sandals. I have my running buddy Samson, my basically giant puppy, and we're here at Cowell State Park at what's called the Pipeline Trail, and we're gonna go on a run and have some fun and try and bring you along for you know, one of my favorite things, the thing that got me into this whole business and this crazy life, which is running, minimalist running barefoot. So here we go. So we'll see if this is a good idea or not, running today. I brought Samson, and Samson is one of my main running partners. So one of the reasons I come to this trail a lot, not only is it beautiful and scenic, but I get to take Samson off the leash a little bit, especially early in the morning. There's not very many people here, and because of the single track, I feel like I can manage him better. I usually just keep him behind me, but for the first little bit, he's gonna run fast. Samson is very young. He's about 16 months old. He's got these long legs, and you know, I have a feeling he could run for days. He's fast, he's strong, all that, but like a lot of young runners, he cannot pace himself. He was like myself, you know. I really used to hate running because of the, I'd say, the cardio aspect and all of that. A lot of that is, in my mind, it's two things. One, it's the pace you're running at, so you got to deal with the pace. Oh my gosh. But you got to deal with the stride too. And so I was running with a longer stride. A lot of that had to do with the fact that, you know, I would have been running in you know, conventional shoes when I was younger, up until I was about 30 years old. And so I'd have a longer stride, probably landing out front, putting myself in a braking position. And I guess there's a ton to it actually, but you also lose a lot of efficiency when you're wearing traditional footwear. I think one of the things that's probably not like recognized, or how much, you don't really see how much value it is until you do it, is that your foot is a lot more like your hand. The job of the foot is kind of, again, it's like the hand. I liken it to baseball a lot of the time. So in baseball, if you didn't have your hand, it's the smallest part. You know, your hand and your fingers, it's the smallest part of your arm, yet it's a compound lever. So it's like two more levers. It's the hand hinging on the wrist, and it's the fingers hinging on the hand that provide a tremendous amount of speed and force. And you might want to think of it as snap. So the same thing happens with your foot. If your foot is like stuck in this molded shoe, that's a problem with a lot of the shoes. There goes Samson again. Samson, come here, bud. The problem with a lot of the shoes is that they basically put your foot into a cast, control the motion, assume that your foot's just going to be plodding, boom, 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 every time, but not snapping. And that snap is so critical. You lose that, and now you've made it so much harder for you to run. It's way more challenging. So you got your stride, you got your pace, you got the snap. All those things are critical to making running enjoyable. Whoa, showing off. Okay, go on. Go on, you brown monster. Go on. Go. It's just like a kid in a candy store. That is one big kid right there. Okay, bud. Let's go. Come on. Okay. All right, we're heading into the park, taking the main entrance here to the campground at Henry Cowell, and Samson is chewing his leash in a show of defiance, but it's not gonna work. He's gotta come running. You know, as your dog gets older and they stop doing some of these puppy things, it's pretty sad. It can be a little bit lame when they're young, but they're so full of energy and activity and all that. It's great. I remember my last dog, Jonah, who was a great running buddy for years. He would do that same kind of stuff. I remember when we first got him, and he was probably only like, 3 or 4 months old. And my wife and I took him running, or we were on a little walk or something, and he grabbed his leash. My wife was holding it, and he grabbed the leash and held it in his mouth, and then, trotted along. And it was so cute. I remember she was like crying, but not, of course, happy tears. But it's pretty special when they're young and they have that puppy energy. Well, at this point in the run, I've gone through the main entrance to the campsite, and I run past the amphitheater and hit this trail. It's the Pine Trail to Observation Deck. And I'm gonna be able to take Samson off the leash again here because it's single track, it's early, and I don't think he's gonna bother anybody. So here we go. He's more fun off the leash anyway. Samson, sit. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Okay, ready? Ready, bud? Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Wanna go? All right, suit yourself. Oh, he wants to go. Okay, come on, bud, let's go. Samson and I were running pretty hard there for a minute. So I just started reading Born to Run again. I first read it, I think around 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. It was one of the first things after I like heard about and seen somebody running. Actually, the idea of playing sports in toe shoes. The first person I saw doing that made me question the whole premise of like conventional footwear was seeing this guy playing center field in our men's slow pitch softball league. But after that, I read the book Born to Run, and I just devoured it. It was great. It made so much sense. That was like, again, probably about 13 years ago now, or close to it. And so when I read that thing, I just hung on to the information, and I've always like referred back to it. It's kind of informed a lot of my thinking, and but I haven't really gone back and looked at it again. I didn't feel the need to reread it, but I've been reading it again, and I'm a few chapters in. I'm just reminded right off the bat what a great book it is. Chris McDougall, he had this great way of telling a story. He created an interesting story out of it. There's lots of adventure. You know, he's on this journey to find the Tarahumara, find the secret group of runners, these super athletes and all that. And he's doing that at the same time. He takes time out from that adventure, and he presents us with all this, sometimes scientific, sometimes anecdotal information about running, and kind of where we have come to, where we've been, where we've come to, why some things work, why some things don't. He's also on his own personal journey to run, to learn how to run. There's just so much going on, and he really weaves it all together. Stop here for a second. The thing about Born to Run is that it you realize when you're reading it that it's within your reach. It's within your grasp. You can run. You are born to run. All of this stuff is possible. It really is. You just have to go out and do it. And that's what I've been doing for 12 years now. It's just doing it. I'm 43. I was like 31. I was 30 or 31. I can't remember exactly which. And I run better. I feel better. I'm in better shape than I was, 13 years ago. And it's because I do it. In any case, I come out here. With my dog. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to come out here with my wife, and it just, you're in the wilderness, that hope of adventure is here. Anyways, I love it, and I hope you guys like it too, and are able to partake.
Confusing because
nice slobber, dude. Look at that gnarly slobber on your beak. We got a nice little hill. So I kind of mentioned earlier, I was talking about how, come on, Samson. Talking about how that book, Born to Run, if there is anything in there, it's this, it stirs up this possibility of being able to continue to go on adventures, to use your legs, not just when you're young, but when you're older, and to do it at a high level. And the missing ingredient, let the cat out of the bag, basically is all the protections, all the fixing that we've built in. We see everything that causes pain or discomfort or difficulty in our society as something that needs to be fixed, rather than accepted and learn to work with. And a lot of times when we don't fix things, we grow stronger, more skillful, or we do them in the right quantity. It's the same for running and running shoes. That's my big reason we make the sandals, is we're not trying to fix you, we're trying to give you something that'll complement what you do naturally. But in all of that, for me, the end goal is adventure. My favorite place to be in the summertime, and maybe my favorite place of all time, is the Sierra Nevadas here in California. So many great memories growing up, being in places like Yosemite, hiking and hiking up to Yosemite Falls, and then with my brother running down the whole 4-mile trip, almost sprinting, jumping from rock to rock for 4 miles downhill, and hiking Half Dome once with a buddy in college, one time with my wife Jenny. But that adventure, and there's a certain smell to the Sierras. They're so dry, especially compared to the coast out here. You know, it's a lot more damp. We get fog all the time, but the Sierras have this just wonderful dry smell I love. And it's cedars and ponderosa pines. Well, Henry Cowell has a bunch of ponderosa pines. It's very sandy here. It's a lot more arid, and whenever I'm here, you know, I'm so grateful. I feel really blessed to be close enough to where I can't always go on a big adventure, but there's this beautiful, beautiful place to run. I feel like every time I'm here, I feel like I'm a couple steps closer to the Sierras, and I'm really grateful for that. So that one takes you up to the observation deck, and that's the path I came out of. Be shorter. Come on, buddy. Go on. All right, this is it. This is my turnaround here on my run. It's all going back now. This is like my rocky moment on the run. There's a view across the valley, and the trail we came in on, the pipeline trail, is somewhere over in those trees. And this is as high as I want to go. If I go any farther, I'm gonna have to go back down the hill again, and I don't want to do that. And the funny thing is too, look at Samson. Samson, come here, bud. He's like, no way. We just ran hard. He never runs this last like 20 yards. He always just waits there. He's smarter than he looks. All right, well, it's all downhill now pretty much. Okay, there's a little uphill here and there, but mostly it's downhill. Just heading back to the parking lot, and yeah, about 2 miles to go. So far it's just been a great run. I'm loving how much fun Samson is having. Every time he's off his leash, he's just so much happier, running around like crazy. Anyways, it's just good to be out here. Hope you're enjoying it. All right, Samson and I are making our last 0.7 mile trek over to the Graham Hill Trail, to the Graham Hill Trail in the parking lot there on the Graham Hill side of Henry Cowell. And when we're done, we will have run 6.05 miles. I know that because I run this thing at least once a week, a lot of times twice a week, and I've got every little thing memorized about it. Anyways, here we go. Come on, bud. So if you've made it this far into the video, I may as well pitch the sandals. I've been wearing the Trailstar Maximus. Now we just released it a couple weeks ago, and people are kind of finding out about it. It's the new thing, and I've been wearing them now for a couple months, I guess since April, so it's more like 3 months or so. I love them. They're so good. You're gonna love them too. Everything, if you do love the Trailstar or Trailstar Alpha or Omega, you're like, oh, those are so cool and they're great for hiking and maybe for running, but they're probably just a little too thick. This is like the dream come true. I cannot go any thinner. We really snuck the Trailstar lacing system into the Maximus, but it works really well. We cannot go any thinner, don't even ask. There's no way they can go onto a regular Warrior, but they are basically, they're sublime. They're so good. Because it's so thin, but it's still thick enough. You got that a total stack height of 9 millimeters, 8 millimeters of sole. They're so flexible that even though you're like locked in with the Trailstar lacing system, the toe loop and all that, there's so little resistance on the uplift, like as your foot pronates and loads for each step. They're just really comfortable. I can't say enough good things about them. And then finally, because I'm running in them so much, they're just awesome with the power straps. It's kind of like everything I ever wanted in my sandals. It's kind of come together. So I think you'll enjoy them. Please check them out. I can't speak well enough about them. So we're on the last, I don't know, quarter mile of this run, and it might be the best quarter mile of the whole run. So we're dropping in, we're on the other side of the little ravine from the parking lot, and we're gonna follow this trail down into the creek bed and then up out the other side. And as we descend, we go from, you know, the sandier, drier part with a lot of fir trees, and we're gonna start turning into redwoods. We've got the redwoods all around us. And at the bottom, we're met by a beautiful creek bed and this great single track trail. And then in the winter time, this is the most beautiful run in Santa Cruz. Because if you're here when it's raining, this whole little canyon is just flowing with water. The creek is flowing, there's water on the trail, and there's even some little waterfalls that appear on the side of the opposite side. Just a magical place. Here we go, down into the canyon. Oh, come on, Samson. Good boy, good boy. Okay. So pretty as you're climbing up out the other side of the canyon. Really, just awesome stuff here. Henry Cowell, Pipeline Road, and Graham Hill Trail, and various other little offshoots. I'd say that's one of the toughest things about Henry Cowell, is that there's so many trails. It's a pretty big, it's actually really big park, and it's easy to get lost. So take a map, make sure you know what you're doing before you just go bouncing around on the trails.
What's up? This is Andrew from Shamma Sandals. You usually don't see this. I'm the cameraman behind all the videos, but sometimes you gotta do just as much exercise as Josh in these running videos. Right now we're going up this crazy hill. How's the run?
It was great. It's always a hard run, no matter how many times I've done it. It's a tough run, but it's so beautiful, so worth it. Samson had a great time. Did you have fun, buddy? Yeah, he had a good time. His tail was wagging a lot and stuff. So anyways, Henry Cowell Pipeline. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. See you next time on Run With Us. Happy trails. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content. And make sure to click the bell so that you'll be notified every time we post something new.